Hello everyone and welcome back to CH Sports. This is a tournament from last summer at beautiful Whistler's Bend. I am Scott Withers and I'm here with the person with the most cameos ever on Jomez Pro in the background, owner of Resistance Discs, Jeff Korns. Jeff, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Scott. How are you?
I'm good, so very excited to get to watch this tournament, my favorite tournament of the year. It's one that I've ran for a long time, and it's my favorite course and my favorite place in the world, so we're very excited to get to show Whistlers off to the viewers tonight.
Yeah, I am excited. This is a tournament that I have gone to in the past, enjoy being at. I love Whistlers, but being out on the tour full time, normally I did not get to make it out this year, so I'm excited to see all the friends and homies compete and see what's up.
So we'll get to the players on this card in a second. Huge shout out to my assistant TD, Zach Jones, maybe the best assistant TD in the world. Dude knows every rule that you could ever imagine and is no nonsense. So we're starting it off with myself. Hole 1, very easy starting hole, 260 feet or so, just kind of wide open. So let's see if we can get some birdies to kick it off.
Yeah, what are you going on this one? You going putter on this one just to start it off?
Yeah, 268 feet. This is a Crystal Challenger. This is the first time I've played NUI throwing an all discraft bag, so it was kind of exciting to get some new discs out to the course, but that's all you want. I mean, you want to throw it in the basket. You can get aces on this hole, but yeah, that's an ideal start to not have to putt on hole 1.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really ask for much more. Lewis over here, probably also going putter. I'm going to guess this is one of his Star XDs.
Yeah, it looks like it to me. He's got a bunch of them, maybe the world's biggest collection of Star XDs. And Lewis's strength is, and always has been, throwing dead straight shots through the woods. So the first handful of holes does set up really well for him. Great job right next to the basket. Our buddy Chris, if you have watched CH Sports coverage in the past, you know Chris. You know what he can do. You know how much of a baller this guy is. And just announced this week he got fully sponsored on the Innova crew team. So congratulations to Chris.
Yeah, this will probably be one of the few times you'll see Chris throwing a little bit of a mixed bag. I think you might be going with a buzz on this one.
Yeah, that or one of his star studs. I know he likes those a lot. And rounding out our card, our defending champion for this event, Kenny Shelton from North Bend, Oregon. Great second round last year. A little bit of an upset, but one of my good friends from the southern Oregon coast, and it was really cool to see him get his first major win last year.
Yeah, Kenny's a fun player to watch. He's not sponsored, but he's a big fan of Discraft, so he throws, I believe, exclusively Discraft. And he's a quick player, too, so I'm curious to see if Colin got all of his shots because Kenny just gets up there and rips. He's always ready to go.
Yeah, one of the unique challenges about Whistler's Bend, and hopefully not for very much longer, but it is the baskets in the first 13 or 14 holes. About half the course has Pro 28 disc catchers, and half the course has these old mocks. Kenny may be showing a little bit of camera nerves. I'd imagine this is his first round being fully videotaped at a major tournament. So I know there might be a little bit of nerves in play.
Yeah, that putt didn't look too far off the mark. You can see Lewis go up and fix the chains just because after watching anyone hit a fair amount of chains and then you're looking at some wrapped up in the basket, you definitely want to fix those and make sure your putt's not going to do anything funny.
You got to get hole 1. It's just what it is. We have 3 birdies and 1 par on the hole, but strategy-wise to this course, it really depends on the type of player that you are. If you are a control player, you got to get the first, you got to get 4 of the first 6 or 6 of the first 10 or something. If you're a power player, you can maybe get through it 3 or 4 and then really try to attack the back. But we immediately are out of easy holes and just kind of into the gauntlet of the woods.
I see you're opting for the forehand on this. Some players like to go with the turnover, but I've always preferred the forehand. The gap's nice and wide. You just kind of got to put it up there and let the disc do the work.
For a non-forehand player, I feel like this is the line you see most people take. It is kind of a hole that has the 2 distinct options that you can take. The left gap that the forehands go through it is a bigger gap, but the right hand, if you don't have a forehand, the right hand hyzer is there. You just got to kind of beat a couple trees at the end of the flight.
Yeah, Chris just kind of hangs onto that one a little too long, leaks it to the left side of the fairway, but he's not in danger of taking a bogey. He's just going to have to get up and down.
Kenny, this is looking good. There is one tree, and it's a little too straight. It needs to come in a couple feet right of that to really get next to the basket. But you can see, when you take this forehand gap, even if you hit something, a lot of times you have the open-up shot.
Yeah, Chris was lucky to land just right in the middle of the fairway, not have to do too much work on his end, but good scrambles, good up and downs. Those guys should get in for pars after that.
I don't know how many rounds you have at Whistler's. I have 100. Like, I've played this course so many times, and being my favorite place in the world. This green, if you don't catch it early, like, it's sneaky fast. I don't know if it shows up on video, but if you miss a putt on this green, you're going out to 25 or 30 feet.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an incline that I don't think really shows much at all on the camera, and then as you can see, it's mostly hard-packed dirt. So I've seen things get away from you on the putting green here.
I know this is always like hole 1, I don't want to have to putt. Hole 2, I get to this one, I'm really nervous over this putt. You'll see it as a theme at Whistler's in general, but this is not an easy putting course because the baskets can be exposed to quite a bit of wind. They're almost all on slopes. It almost feels like a Disc Golf Pro Tour course in terms of how hard the greens are.
Yeah, definitely. Whether it's staying close or just accessing those greens, there's definitely some difficulty in that. It's not easy to score and put yourself in that scoring position always out here at Whistler's.
A couple of us, Lewis and I, at 2 under to start. Hole 3, 300 feet, dead straight. The straighter you throw it, the better. I pulled out a different Crystal Challenger, and this hole has my number at times.
I don't know if I've ever thrown this hole well either. I feel like I'm always trying to get the disc to stall a little bit and maybe finish a little bit, and Lewis seems like he's got it pretty well done there.
If you're going to give me, 1 or 2 players to throw this shot that come from the Pacific Northwest, Lewis is going to be on my short list just because of how well this sets up for what he does. Chris, huge yank to the right, doesn't hit a thing though, and is going to get some kind of a look out of it, I think.
Kenny looked a little inside, but I think it snuck past that tree on the left side of the fairway.
Yeah, and then scoring-wise, this is not where you want to be because this green is faster than the last one and can just really get away from you in a hurry. You don't want to be throwing full shots. You can see Chris laying up from 40.
Kenny's got a little bit more even ground look, so he gives it a bid. But I can definitely see with Chris, if you miss the basket, you're flying it and you're going far. He might have been coming back farther if he didn't draw metal there.
He was a little tentative on his putt. You can see the orange flags there. He is not scared of the bee's nest. That is an issue in Southern Oregon in the middle of summertime. We were kind of joking walking down the fairway about it because it was popped up the day of and there wasn't much we could do other than try to spray it. But Kenny leaks out to 20, 25, makes it, but not quite on the pole. So the nerves will calm down for Kenny, I promise. But yeah, they might be in play a little bit to start.
Absolutely. First time being on camera is never an easy situation, especially when you're coming in with Kenny. He's the defending champ. There's probably some expectations from him. And then, maybe he's got some fans out there watching him, hoping he keeps it up.
I'm a big Kenny fan. I love watching and playing with the guy. Like, it's so simple what he does, yet he turns in good scores.
Absolutely. I remember one of my first rounds I played being with Discraft. I played with Kenny and I was like, dude, like, what should I be throwing? What do I try? And he's an enjoyable guy to be with, great spirit, always, pleasure to be on the card with.
Every time. Hole 4, 260. Probably the most wooded hole out at Whistler's. I throw forehand, as you're going to see a lot of people do, and try to go down over that cross branch. I hit the cross branch and now have a tough upshot. Lewis did not get his backhand into the gap and is going to be early. Chris trying the same thing that I did, a little higher, see if it gets through. It's like kind of, but not not superb.
Yeah, he's got it in play.
Yep. Kenny going Raptor, I believe. And like you said, he's pretty much an all Discraft bag. And that one skips out a little right, but great shot. I feel like this hole is about 50% skill and then 50% luck to get one through.
Yeah, I always remember this hole is like, if you hit the initial gap, you keep it in play. You know, you can get your par, but you gotta make it down the fairway a bit.
Lewis, easy layup. If Chris didn't run last putt, oh, he is running this one. It's kind of surprising watching him lay up last putt, which is so short, from 40 feet or so, and then give that one a legitimate run from 60. You got Kenny's good drive down there, just a little left and off the side of the chains.
Chris, a little bit of a comebacker, sneaks his XD in.
When you think of guys that probably haven't been to Whistler's Bend yet, because the course itself definitely deserves all the big names to go there, but who do you think is someone that would really light this place up? Like, when you think of a player that has the control and maybe the distance for the back nine, who comes to mind as someone for you that would be a favorite on against anyone out here?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't think I've ever really thought about that much. I mean, we know definitely that Sexton's a contender out here. He comes out to Whistler's Dubs every summer and puts together stuff. You know, he's got all the tools and the experience out there. But just thinking of Pacific Northwest guys as well, I'd love to see James Proctor play this course with his control game that he has, throwing dead straight rock shots, but also the distance to hang with everyone. But we're going to kick it off to a sponsor, and we'll see you back in a moment.
A huge thanks to Flightel, Upper Park, and obviously Resistance for making the coverage possible. We're going to move on to hole 5, and my favorite hole in the course, and honestly I think one of the signature holes out here. 420 feet, dead straight, cliff on the right, trees on the left. Really requires a professional level shot.
Yeah, I like this hole. It's always like a fun one to get to because you come from these tight woods to still having to hit a line, but you kind of get to rip one a little bit harder, throw a driver.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with what Lewis did there, bailing out a little bit to the left. It gives you a look. Chris is in line, but is in the branches of the oak trees. It's such a height-controlled shot here. Chris and I were about the same line, but I was like probably 6 feet lower on those trees, and it gets all the way through where his hits the branches that are overhanging. Kenny pulls it a little bit right. We'll see where he ended up. Yeah, not great on the upshot, and he's going to leave himself a little bit of work. Chris hit the branches, but really did squirt through to about 50 feet.
Yeah, he's got to look here and give this a bid.
Oh, heartbreaker right off the front of the cage from that far below the basket and that far away. Let's see how aggressive Lewis gets. Not very aggressive.
No, half go, need some commitment. Kenny, there we go, shaking off the putting nerves.
Lewis will throw that lofting putt up from time to time, and I don't know how it goes in the basket. Like, it's got to fall straight in the cage, but
it's that like slightly more old school kind of putt. Like, it reminds me of Greg Barsby. Like, gets that high pitch and nose down and driving at the basket. But you're picking up the birdie here, and that's a stroke you might get on the field on this hole. This one's not easy.
Yeah, I would imagine that is gaining strokes on a lot of different people. Let's see if I can pull up some stats, and it doesn't look like I'm going to get them up in time, so oh well, we'll move on. I am always pumped about a birdie on this hole. It's like, to me, this is when the course starts at Whistler's, is hole 5. You have your first 4 holes in the woods, like, you got to come off of them a couple under par, but when you get to hole 5, to me, this 5 through like 8 stretch is such an important scoring section of this course, because this is when Whistler's really starts to separate.
Yeah, these holes are also, I feel, give you a real taste of the scenery, like how iconic some of the shots are at Whistler's.
How hard hole 6 is. Like, it's so hard. It shouldn't be. It's right in front of you, but that gap's so tight, and it's on a turnover line the whole way.
Yeah, I've seen so many different like styles of shot being thrown here, from backhands turnovers to Lewis Nava with the attempting the roller, not executing the roller.
Go down the right side?
I don't know if I've ever seen anyone try a backhand roller on this. I'm not gonna lie.
I could hear you in the background asking, "What were you trying there?" Chris is going with the forehand roller.
This is a much more conventional play, and he didn't throw it super well, but get it flipped up on edge and let it roll. But it's just so much easier to get the forehand cut roller into this gap than it is a backhand roller. But Lewis is a madman with those XD rollers.
Yeah, he'll do some ridiculous things. We've seen it on CH Sports coverage. It's a shot that he's got that not a lot of people have anymore, is the putter roller.
Especially the way he throws it. He just basically uses it as a forehand. But when you hit something on this hole, he is real lucky to end up in a spot where you could throw from. I'll say 3/4 way off the fairway and got a little more punished, but still had a gap. This is a really easy hole to bogey.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all these like thin trees. It's hard to access the basket if you're in a weird spot.
But it is kind of like the first flat putting surface of the round. You get up here and you can kind of take a deep breath. You can still get a little rollaways or whatever because it is so hard packed. But it's almost the first hole outside of hole 1 where you can just throw your 30-footer and not have any thought about consequences to it.
Got everyone just cleaning this up. I found the hole stats. Hole 6 and hole 5 identical. They both averaged 2.91, 0.09 under par. But looking at the stats, you got a little bit of birdies, a little bit of bogeys, a lot of pars on both of these past 2 holes.
Yeah, and I guess that's a little surprising to me that hole 5 plays under par, but we didn't have any wind really for this round, which really helps out this shot right here.
Yeah, this is maybe, there's iconic holes all over the place at Whistler's, but this one you'll see lots of pictures of the basket. You can't tell maybe right now, but there is a cliff behind the basket, and it severely drops off.
I thought that was gone. I threw a force there. I would have bet money that was over the cliff. This shot to me that Lewis is throwing here so well, like this is, I don't even know how to tell you, like when you're standing on the tee pad, how beautiful it is to watch a disc or a putter like that just glide 375 feet down the hill. But that's as good as it gets.
Yeah, Chris showing us too. That looks like the same disc he threw on hole 1. And he's got his distance in check with that shot. Should be right there for the birdie.
Jeff, those are so good. Like,
I know, those are really good.
You don't see that. You don't see 2 people back-to-back go putter down the middle and put it within 20 feet of this basket. It doesn't happen. There's a reason that Kenny and I, who have way more rounds than the other guys out here, are throwing hyzer on this hole. Kenny obviously didn't connect with it. It's got to get over the top, but we're throwing it for distance control. And those two just threw, like, the purest backhand putter shots ever. So much more pure than that putt I just threw.
Yeah, and again, I'm still like wish that we could grasp the perspective of this cliff because I don't think we're really going to get to. That land that you're seeing just past the orange dirt, that land's probably, what, 200 feet away across the river there? Like, you're down a cliff across the river. Like, I don't think it quite, like, I just want the perspective to be understood by everyone. If Lewis, you know, flies that another 15 feet, like, he might not get his disc back for the round. He might have to walk 1.5 miles around a cliff down the boat ramp and wade through the river later to get his disc back if he wants it. Like, it's not easy. And they both ranged that with perfect distance control to put it right on the green for a birdie look.
Yeah, those will be the best shots that we see thrown on this hole, like backhand putter up the middle all weekend. I don't care if you videotaped every single card. It's just literally those are the few best.
Yeah,
I can say that
have
with
PDGA stats where we just have, you know, birdies and bogeys and scoring average. I'd love to see UDisc stats where you have like parked percentage and like the number of shots that are parked. There was like those are your ones. That's it. It's done. It's over. Those were your parked shots for the day.
We go from hole 5, 6, and 7, which are incredibly stressful tee shots, to what I will say is the second easiest tee shot on the course to execute behind hole 1. This is right in front of you. There's 2 trees. I know you can't see the basket, but essentially it's just under those oak trees. 250 feet. You can throw anything in your bag. You don't really want to throw forehand, but I guess you could if you need to. This is an absolute must-get.
Yeah, you're not going to really want to miss this one. It's a Stockheiser, you know. You just got to put it in play, and as you can see to the right, there's nothing on the line, so just put it up there and, you know, have your distance and speed right.
Kenny comes in a little bit right. That shot can roll down the hill. It didn't, as we see Lewis putting first. And, just barely hyzed out right at the end on him. I mean, I guess it can be a little windy up on this green. I will say that, putting-wise. It's not for this round. So, lucky, you know, we teed off at about 10 in the morning for this round. It's not windy, but Chris is taking his time after those two.
Yeah, I mean, this one is completely exposed. Like, there's flat plains behind the basket. You know, there's cliffside basically behind the camera view. You're out on this little precipice, and, you know, it can get gusty out there, like you said, and you seem like you know how to do this, play this hole right, and tap it in the birdie. Easy work.
Yeah, I don't know what I threw there, honestly, looking at it. I feel like I picked up a green disc, but I don't know if that's just what I grabbed out of my bag to putt with or not. That's your one-hole reprieve. If I'm through 8 holes and I'm 5 down every time, I'm pumped. Like 3 down where Lewis and Andrew are at, or where Lewis and Chris are at, is perfect. Kenny would like to be a little better, but we have now 3 holes in a row that are super bonus birdies.
Yeah, this one's another long one. Again, hard to tell on the camera. One of the toughest things always to capture is elevation, and this shot is uphill. It's not like incredibly uphill, but it's enough uphill that it's a good pump to get there.
Yeah, my distance-wise, it's the perfect full flat backhand driver shot, and it says 430 and it plays 495 probably, like 500 feet to get one all the way there.
Yeah, I was going to ask before I saw him, you know, line it up with his hand, but I figured Lewis might be going roller here to get that extra distance.
Yeah, stable.
Yeah, that looks like a good line. Like, that's, you know, the angle you need to get the distance up that hill. And
Kenny going just the backhand flat shot. He's got sneaky power. I think for him to get it, like, to fly it all the way to the basket might be a little bit of a stretch, but he can definitely scoot one up inside the circle. And let's look, I mean, look where Chris is, and then realize that Lewis's roller got inside of that.
Yeah, so he's got to be, you know, with a decent look.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I guess he's on the right and is a little boxed out by trees, but that's why you throw the roller on the hard pan here, because it can do this. Oh, off the pole.
Yeah.
And I threw ESP Nuke, a really good one, and mega bonus hole to be able to pick this one up.
Yeah, this one's averaging just over par at plus 0.09. Small amount of birdies, a little more bogeys. You, your boy Devin Cordell, and Ty Love are the only one to secure birdies on this round.
Yeah, I would imagine that Devin probably threw roller, knowing his game. And then Ty, 16 years old, all the power in the world. He can definitely go underneath like I did to get there.
Yeah, and if he gets up there anywhere inside circle 2, he's a great putter, gives himself a chance to make it.
Yeah, I would say that with Devin and Ty, they can both knock down 50 or 60 footers just like it's normal putting. We're 9 holes in. It happened real quick.
Yeah, that is our first 9. Gotta make sure I get that right. The first 9, there'll be a middle 9, and then a back 9. But we got you leading the way. Strong charge out the gate. 6 under par. That's good.
Yeah, 6 under par is good. 3 for Chris and Lewis, and Kenny parred the whole front 9. So join us again on the middle 9 here in a second, and we will catch you guys shortly.
Hey guys, Colin here with CH Sports. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to my coverage sponsors. These videos would not be able to come to life without these people's help, so I really appreciate it. There's plans starting as low as $3 a month, and every single dollar helps grow the channel. If you would like to see your name or business listed in the credits of every single one of my videos, please head over to patreon.com/chsports.